Hi, I'm Sebastian. I'm CEO and co-founder of FullStackS. Today I send you warm greetings right out of the heart of Vienna. Vienna is the city where my partner Philip Kainz and me founded our company FullStackS 1 year ago. One of the first steps we took together were joining the Opium Nebula Service Partner Program. We are very proud and very happy being part of this powerful ecosystem around cloud computing and infrastructure as a service, not only in on-premise data centers, also in the edge. And I'm delighted to do and talk and contribute to the Opium Nebula community with this talk about container orchestration in the edge at scale with Opium Nebula. We do not want to bore you with slides and technical discussions. Furthermore, we want to show you why we have chosen Opium Nebula as our compute stack, especially for edge computing use cases. First, we want to start with potential use cases for edge computing. What use cases do exist in the edge? So first of all, we look on today's compute locations and, last but not least, the use cases. You see on the left side the core data center with all the internal apps, with the demand of application modernization, finance industry, modern enterprise architectures, and in between the cloud. In the cloud, it's all about cloud native applications, lifting and shifting applications, scale applications, or run geo-distributed applications or customer-facing apps. And this hands over directly to edge, because in the edge you need to achieve low latency, provide high bandwidth and things like this for use cases, for example in the public defense or intelligence sector, also for IoT, industrial, transport or energy use cases, or if you think about 5G networks, the modern mobile networks. This is a real demand for a technology like edge computing. So what all of those three compute locations and the many use cases have together? Most of the workloads you run in the edge, in the core, in the cloud are containerized applications or microservices. And secondly, all of them require infrastructure. You require infrastructure in the edge, in the core, or in the cloud. In brief, you need compute, network, storage. Let's call it infrastructure as a service. So, what is missing is the question. There is something in between. The layer which is missing is a virtual edge computing infrastructure as a kind of a service abstraction layer. And this hands over to a question: why Opium Nebula for this use case? It's simple. Because Opium Nebula provides this virtual abstraction layer to you, and this everywhere, without complexity, with maximum openness. And this is, to be honest, the reason why we have been successfully doing so many compute projects over the years with Opium Nebula. But first, when we have a look on Opium Nebula with our edge computing projects, okay, Opium Nebula, agree, it's a private, perhaps a public or hybrid cloud stack, but in the edge, but absolutely, because a lot has evolved here. Let's take a view on the homepage of the Opium Nebula ONEedge project. There are many emerging use cases, especially for the edge. Those use cases are available directly to you. And we focus today on a use case called Kubernetes as a service. Okay, all clear? I promise you I will do not any bullshit bingo regarding Kubernetes. Why? Because Kubernetes is, from our point of view, the operating system for the cloud. And it's the de facto standard in managing and deploying modern software everywhere, in edge, in core, in cloud. I think it's interesting if we tell you more about the virtual edge infrastructure as a service layer you can build up with Opium Nebula. Next, I show you a whiteboard drawing with a, perhaps a bit complicated model and structure where we have combined two leading technologies, Opium Nebula and SUSE's Rancher, for doing container orchestration at scale in the edge. You can see that we have integrated ONEedgeDay with all of its components, like the ONED, this is the central ONEedgeDay process, ONEflow, this is an automation engine internally of ONEedgeDay, and ONEGate, which is a simple key value store available via REST API for handling and doing massive automation at scale. And what we have implemented is exactly this virtual edge infrastructure as a service abstraction layer, which allows you to run a microservice, a micro-hypervisor, a container, a micro-operating system on almost virtually any device. This can be hardware or an imported and supported edge computing provider. ONEedgeDay does all the handling of the infrastructure related stuff. It spins you up the instances. It provisions you the instances. It automates you the instances and handing it over to your Kubernetes management layer, which is Rancher in that case. And last but not least, all of those things I mentioned before can be done in a GitOps, DevOps, or infrastructure as code approach. Just a few days ago, ONEedgeDay, together with a different partner, have released a new Terraform provider. And Terraform, HashiCorp Terraform, is, from my perspective, the leading standard for doing infrastructure as code. ONEedgeDay is fully supported in this ecosystem. This gives you freedom, and this gives you massive scalability and the power to automate all the things. If you are interested, drop me an email or add me on LinkedIn, and I will provide you more information. Our friends from ONEedgeDay does this a bit easier. Here is the same drawing showing you the power and the abilities of such a construct you can do and architect with ONEedgeDay. And I was so free and picked some screenshots of ONEedgeDay directly from their homepage. You can see their project called FireEdge. With FireEdge, you're able to spin up your cloud instances everywhere, in AWS, in Google Cloud, on bare metal with Packet and Equinix, DigitalOcean, Walter, etc. The question is, in brief, what do you get with ONEedgeDay? From our perspective, you get a democratization of IT resources. With it, you achieve freedom and independence for your projects and your IT infrastructure. You have freedom of choice. This leads to peace of mind, and altogether, in such days, we can state this as real European values. Thank you very much for listening to this talk. And of course, last but not least, we have open sourced all of our integrations we have done regarding the Kubernetes integration in ONEedgeDay. If there are any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us. We are here. We are looking forward in answering your questions. And if you are interested in our company, my partner Philip and me built up in just 1 year. Here you can see our whole team, and we are very happy in supporting the ONEedgeDay community. We believe in the project. We see the great power of ONEedgeDay, not only in the core data centers, especially in the edge. Thank you, and bye-bye. Have a great day.